I gonna get through all of this? Kung Fu Panda. Stop, why is this actually so cute?
Hey everyone, it's Minty, and I've brought out this pile of old art so that I can decide on which drawing I'm going to recreate today. Starting off with this beautiful drawing of Clifford the Big Red Dog that I did when I was really young. Hopefully that part was obvious. The next one is a pretty average child's drawing of a family in a house. Then there's the classic smiling sun in the corner and also a very large horse. This is taking a turn already with the drawing fruit characters for absolutely no reason phase. Didn't everyone go through that?
It was one sunny day at school. Terry Bibston was doing show and tell. That was very nice, Miss Pintip said. I want to turn happily to, I said.
That was hands down the best story that I've ever read, and no one will be convincing me otherwise. Yeah, I wasn't lying when I said the whole fruit thing was a phase. It was not a one-time thing. You can read this comic if you want, but good luck trying to make it make sense. You thought that was amazing? Well, take a look at this iconic masterpiece. If you ignore the rip and the stain, I'm sure you can appreciate the beauty. The meaning is up to your own interpretation. Okay, looks like we're jumping forward a bit to when I'm a bit older with some more normal drawings. Here's a magical girl, and I take that back because this is not what I would call normal. I'm not sure why I thought being random was some sort of elite humor. Then we have the My Little Pony obsession, which as much as I hate to look back on it, it is what improved my drawing by quite a bit. A full A4 coloured background? What kind of sorcery is this? I redrew this mermaid one quite a while back, so I don't think I'm gonna do it again. At least we've moved on to more character drawings at this point. I'd redrew this one once too, and also this one. So I probably won't do those ones because it would be fun to do something different. Then we have another fully coloured A4 drawing. It does have 4 characters on it, and also 4 landscapes. They are kind of small, but still, I would never do that now. This drawing was on the back of that paper, and here's a nice little painting that I did for summer, and there's also a wintry one which was made with oil pastels, I think. So can you guess what I chose? You probably knew from the beginning because it's on the thumbnail, but surprise, I chose the one with the pandas and the food. Yay! I have a really old video where I show my art progress, and this drawing is in that video, and because it's kind of like stuck onto the paper, someone thought that I had taken a sticker and said it was my own art, even though it's clearly not a sticker, because if it was, it would probably be a bit more professional than what I drew. It's just stuck on from a different piece of paper that I cut it out from. I did draw it though. The person who commented that was like... So yeah, fun, unnecessary story time. The reason I chose this one was just because it was so different to everything that I usually draw, and all of the colors looked so fun, and the idea was just so cute. I would never think to do pandas sitting on top of food. I have no idea what possessed me to draw this, but it looked cute, so that's what we're gonna do, and hopefully we'll make it 10 times cuter now. If it's not, I might cry because this is supposed to be 4 years of progress. Oh wait, even more than that, it's supposed to be like 6 years of progress. Okay, this better be good. I mean, I already know what the finished product looks like because I'm doing my voiceover like 2 hours after I finished it, but oh well, that's how videos work. That's why I never know if I should talk in present tense or past tense, because I want it to be engaging, but also then I feel so fake being like, oh, I'm drawing this right now, because I'm not drawing this right now. I drew it ages ago. Someone tell me why it took me so long just to color that bread. It's just bread. Actually, I know why it took so long.
Bread equals pain.
Jokes aside, this drawing actually did take quite a while. The footage was really long, and that's why I've had to time-lapse so much of it. I think it's because I usually draw girls, right? And that takes a really long time because of the character designs and everything, and I was expecting this to be quick because, first of all, I'm literally just copying it, so I don't need to think about anything, but also it's not a human, so it should be easier, right? No need to worry about proportions. But no, this still took so long, probably because I was so worried about it being neat, and I guess it was worth the effort, but yeah, it did take up most of my day. The original drawing had 4 different pandas, pink, green, blue, and orange, but I wasn't really feeling that color combination, so I've changed the green to more of a minty turquoise color because that is a lot more my style, and the orange to a yellow just to add some more brightness. I feel like maybe I was supposed to keep all the colors the same because I am redrawing it, but the goal of this is kind of just to be able to create what my younger self imagined when I was drawing that original drawing, because back then I didn't have very good art supplies. Of course, you can still make good art with cheaper art supplies, but all I had were some colored pencils which barely made a mark on the paper, and I just can achieve what I can now with my Ohuhu markers. Aside from that, I have been drawing for longer now, so obviously I have more experience, and I can use that to actually draw what I imagine. To a certain extent, of course, because I still have a long way to go. After finishing the coloring drawing of the pandas and the burger, I moved on to my favorite part of this entire drawing, which was the ice cream milkshake thingy. I started off by shading the lid. This part was a little bit hard because the lid is see-through, so I have to show that it's see-through but not invisible, if you get what I mean. Then I drew the straw. That was quite straightforward. I just shaded it, and the original didn't have this pattern on it, but I gave it the classic red and white swirly pattern that a lot of straws have because it just looks a lot better and adds more color. The original was more like a orangey color again, which I didn't want to include. The next part was super fun, and it was shading and coloring the actual milkshake. I added some Oreo crumbs as well as 2 full Oreos, but I made sure that they were actually inserted into the milkshake, so you can only see half of each of them. In fact, you can barely see them at all because it's so chaotic in that milkshake. But the original just had the 2 Oreos sitting on top, and that just looked kind of unnatural or just cheap, and I wanted to make it a bit more interesting, so I did that. Then I added strawberry sauce just like the original had, but I made it a bit more pink instead of red. After that, I finished it off with a few blue and yellow sprinkles, which was a really cute touch because it just adds a bit more color and fills the white space. I didn't want it to be plain. Once I had finished off the insides of it, I went back to the lid and added even more shading on top because it kind of got lost when I colored the insides, and I also added a bunch of highlights. I did them in white gel pen first, but they didn't really show up, so I used a white Posca to make it really obvious. Then I moved on to the design of the cup. I didn't draw the cup as cup shaped. I don't know, mine looks like a brick. I don't know if you can see that, but it does kind of annoy me. But as for the rest of it, I do really like it a lot better than before because I definitely chose some more bright colors and made it less muddy because I didn't have the choice back then, and all the colors that I used weren't really that vibrant. So I did that, and I also changed the actual logo of it a bit more. The original was kind of like graffiti style, and mine still is, but I made it pop a bit more with the white border and everything. Then I added these blue and yellow lines just to add more color instead of the whole mess of the design that was going on before. I don't know if you guys still remember what the original drawing looked like, but that part was pretty messy before. Not as messy as this voiceover though, sorry about that. Now the actual drawing is finished, and I really like how it's turned out, but there is a lot of white space around it, so I want to fix that. The original had this rainbow squiggle thing, which could be cool, and I've been doing a lot of rainbow themed doodles in my sketchbook lately, but for that reason I'm not going to do that rainbow thing because I do want to add some variety in my sketchbook and not have like a random rainbow on each page, so I'm gonna go with colored shapes in the back of it. I'm still making it multicolored, so it's basically another rainbow, but I think with the rainbow gradient squiggle, that would just be a bit too much if I added that in. Annoyingly, there were some pencil marks and smudges on the paper, and even though I covered them up with marker when I was doing the background colors, some of them were still visible through the color, and it just looked a bit dirty, so I got out my Posca again and I added some white spirals on each shape. Here's the comparison of the new and the old version. I really like the new version, but the old one is still cute, so I don't know, I do like them both. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Here's a little overview of the whole thing. I love how it looks close up with all the colors and the tiny details. Here are the shout outs and the shout out emoji, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!